JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. Man hospitalized after allegedly stabbing wife to death. A Clarendon man is now hospitalized under police guard following the alleged murder of his 33-year-old wife. The deceased has been identified as Shashane Williams of Cupid District, Frankfield in Clarendon. Charged with the murders and Ray Williams, also known as Bartel, a 39-year-old chef. Charged with the murders and Ray Williams, also known as Bartel, a 39-year-old chef. According to reports, at approximately 12:05 a.m. Tuesday, the couple were at home with their children when a dispute escalated into a physical confrontation. It is alleged that Ray used a knife to inflict multiple stab wounds at Shashane and then set their house on fire. The police said the children managed to escape unharmed, and with the help of residents, Shashane was pulled from the burning house. The police and firefighters were summoned. Upon the extinguishing of the fire, the lawmen found Shashane's body in the yard with multiple stab wounds and burn marks. She was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. Ray later turned himself into the police. He reportedly had injuries. Gun and ammunition seized in St. Anne, 3 men arrested. The St. Anne police have arrested 3 men following the seizure of a revolver and ammunition in the parish on Monday. Reports from the St. Anne's Bay police state that while on patrol in the Box Street community, a loud explosion was heard at about 9:35 p.m. The police say while on the way to investigate, the 3 men were seen on the roadway acting suspiciously. The men were accosted and searched. The gun was allegedly found during the search and the men were taken into custody. Attorney dismissed claims made by police in shooting of St. Anne taxi driver. Attorney at law Oswest Sinner Smith is disputing reports of a shooting incident involving his client and the police in St. Anne. The police reported that a taxi driver was shot last Friday after he drove off while holding on to a police officer's uniform, resulting in the motor vehicle running over the cop's foot. The cop reportedly pulled his service pistol and discharged one round in the direction of the driver, which caught him in the left upper arm. But Smith is contending that the shooting was unwarranted and unjustified.
The story that has been put out, which has reached the media, is entirely contrived, made up with a view to seeking to justify why he, without reason, discharged his firearm, shooting my client in the arm and through the shoulder. Mr. McIntosh did absolutely nothing wrong. He was threatened by the police before the firing of the weapon that if he reversed or drove over his foot that he would have shot him. He reversed, not over the foot of the police officer, and the police officer, apparently in a fit of just being out of control and full of ego, pulled his weapon and shot him. No reason, no justification.
Arnett Gardens goalkeeper stabbed. Arnett Gardens goalkeeper Roger Williams has been hospitalized after he was allegedly stabbed by a woman following a Jamaica Premier League game against Arnett Gardens at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex on Monday night. The 24-year-old Williams had just kept a clean sheet in the 0-0 draw against arch rivals Arnett Gardens when he allegedly got into a confrontation with the woman and was wounded in the chest. Arnett Gardens head coach Xavier Gilbert said he knew little of what transpired, but confirmed that the player was stabbed and is at the hospital. Johnson Penn, Spanish town woman stabbed in her sleep, 21-year-old attacker charged. A 21-year-old Johnson Penn, Spanish town St. Catherine woman has been charged for entering a woman's house and stabbing her while she slept. Gabrielle Cooper, otherwise called Gabby, is charged with wounding with intent. Reports from the Spanish town police are that at about 5 a.m. on Saturday, April 5, a woman was at home sleeping when she was awakened by a stab to her neck and Cooper inside her room. The woman reported that Cooper continued to stab her all over her body, causing bleeding. She was assisted to hospital for treatment, where she was admitted in serious condition. A report was made to the police, and Cooper was subsequently arrested and charged following a question and answer session. Her court date is being finalized. Jamaicans in ICE custody pending deportation. The United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agency says 2 Jamaicans convicted of kidnapping and homicide are currently in its custody pending deportation. ICE said Nascimento Blair, 44, entered the United States as a non-immigrant on March 4, 2004 and violated the terms of his admission. It said the Mount Vernon Police Department in New York arrested Blair for first-degree kidnapping on October 12, 2005, a crime for which he was convicted and sentenced to 15 years in prison. And it said an immigration judge ordered Blair to be removed from the U.S. on August 4, 2008. Blair filed an appeal at the Board of Immigration Appeals, but the board dismissed his appeal on November 6, 2008. I said the New York State Department of Corrections released Blair on parole on April 9, 2020, and he was arrested on July 16, 2024. I said the other Jamaican, Neville Larry Eslop, 67, entered the U.S. as a lawful permanent resident on August 18, 1984. However, Eslop was convicted of homicide in New Jersey on November 1, 1991, and sentenced to 30 years in prison. I said an immigration judge ordered Eslop removed from the United States on June 14, 1996, and that he filed an appeal with the Board of Immigration Appeals, which was dismissed on April 23, 1997. Eslop was arrested on April 23, 2021 upon his release from local custody. Jamaica would not grant a travel document while he filed a motion to reopen his appeal, so ICE released him on an order of supervision, I said in a statement, adding that Eslop was arrested by New York authorities on February 4, 2025.
Alright, we can't get used to this.
You can't get used to it?
Yeah. I'm cool with this, you forward? Yeah. You're so
New rural school bus system will be transformational, says Holness. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has touted the new rural school bus system as transformational, introducing various technologies and a supervisory framework aimed at enhancing student behavior and performance while improving their overall travel experience.
That we are finally at a point where we can bring in buses that are dedicated public transportation for students. In other words, Jamaica, when this is fully rolled out, will have a comprehensive school bus system. Now, to be clear, the system will be jointly operated by the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Transport, the JUTC having a memorandum of understanding for the maintenance of the buses. But it is important that the role of the Ministry of Education is emphasized, because the budget will come through the Ministry of Education, particularly the budget for the full subsidy of those students who have gone through the beneficiary identification system for PATH. Now, more than that, however, which is the part that I am even more pleased about, is that the school rules for the physical plant of the school will apply to the bus.
Yes.
So a student on this bus is still under the jurisdiction of the school as it relates to conduct and discipline. And that is a very important point. So the transformation that will happen as a result of this, clearly households in Jamaica will get an economic benefit, because right now there is an inequity. If you live in spaces served by the JUTC, you get a fully, in some instances, subsidized fare. But if you live in rural areas, no subsidy applies, so there is an inequity. This will help to reduce that inequity, if not remove it totally, but it will also bring a level of decency and standardization to our students. And it will also improve our students' performance at school.
Access
not having the distractions, not having the discomfort and the inconvenience, the late arrivals, the exposure to all kinds of deviant behavior and fights. I think that this is going to be transformational. So we are starting, Minister, you have assured me, with 50 buses in a few weeks' time.
Yes.
Justice.
The bus go round and round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.